Morning.
Good morning. Happy Tuesday. Um, Hope everybody's having a good day. I'm sorry, today is just kind of an off day.
Yeah.
It's I don't know what's going on, but just bear with us. That's all I can say. Forgive us for our lateness and our uh, I don't know, boringness. Not boringness. That's not nice. That's not good. We're not boring. Oh, but we're here. So that has to say something, right?
What
Do
do
I
you?
sound okay?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. Someone needs to
I
poke the picker system and wake them up. I've been awake. I just,
I've been awake too, but I just been not really feeling myself this morning.
who you been feeling like?
Somebody that is really ugly and really like not comfortable in their own skin and
Oh,
just
wow.
yeah, it's pretty traumatic.
Just that kind of day, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Last night we had the storm. I had to go get Job at 1.
Uh-oh.
I hear thunder while I'm getting dressed. And so I'm like, okay, it's thundering outside, whatever. I open the door and it's pouring down rain so hard that I cannot even see the steps. And it takes me, at first, it takes me like 5 minutes to even decide to go out there because I'm like, and this is like 30 minutes before he gets out of work.
Right.
So I'm early anyway, so I'm like thinking, should I just wait until it calms down or. And so I'm like standing there looking at this rain pouring down for like 5 minutes. Besides that, it is lightning, and it's not just a crack of lightning there, and then wait 3 minutes. No, it's lightning, 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 lightning. It's like every 10 seconds,
Wow.
and so it was a crazy storm. I'm driving. I get to the store and I decide to pull into the parking lot because it is raining so hard that I cannot see with my windshield wipers on full blast.
Right.
And I can't see. I'm following the line. I'm following the center line. So and this is four lanes, right? So I'm in the center lane, and I have waves coming from the lakeside, waves engulfing my truck.
Oh my gosh.
They're coming. The waves are coming from the lake. Like there's houses there along the side of the lake, and so it's not like I'm right on the lake. There's houses and then the road.
Right.
So they're going. I'm sure that there's water damage or whatever because on those houses because it was just nuts. The
Wow.
waves were just engulfing my whole truck, and then um, I'd just be driving and I drive right into a it
A
seemed
wave.
like it was like a big puddle, but it was like at my probably at my bumper.
Really?
Yeah, yeah.
Wow.
It was just crazy. And it did that the whole way there. And so I sat there for, a good 15, 20 minutes waiting for him to get out. And it finally calmed down and, just was barely raining. But the lightning was I mean, it was cool because he had to go to Walmart. So I went to the parking lot and was waiting for him to get out. I'm just watching this lightning, and it's across the sky. It's not that. the ones that are going down,
Right.
it's more across the sky. And it was just cracking last night.
Wow.
It was pretty cool to watch.
Huh. Did you snap any pictures?
No,
No.
I should have.
I love taking pictures of lightning. That's like the best.
Yeah.
Because I mean, basically what I do is I just put it on like a speed taking thing, and I take it, and then it takes like 10 or 15 pictures
Yeah,
afterwards.
like the speech shutter or something.
Yeah. And oh my gosh, that is so cool to do that. I love that.
Yeah, I probably would have got some good ones. It's just it was a weird storm for us because usually something like that, it'll go on for like 10 minutes and then it'll be done. We get
Right.
a lot of those kind of storms where, the thunder and lightning will be going, and then, it'll pour down rain for, 10, 20 minutes, and then it'll just be gone. It'll be
Right.
like nothing ever happened, and then it's muggy as hell, of course.
Right.
And last night, man, I was just like, I can't believe this is going on for so long. It's just lasted forever, and it was still raining by the time we got home and stuff. So, I mean, it was going for a good hour, probably 2 hours.
Wow.
And that lightning, though, it was just amazing. Scary, kind of, but
Yeah. I don't like the rain just because of, like the flooding aspect of it. I mean, it doesn't take long for a road to be completely flooded, and especially being, engulfed by waves and all of that. That's scary because that could actually, water's pretty strong, and it could actually take your truck and,
mhm, yeah,
do some,
I,
but
I couldn't believe that.
crazy.
I was telling Job about the waves, and he's like, I don't think that actually happened, Mom. And I'm like, it did. It did happen. I don't care if you don't think it actually happened or not. It did happen.
Oh,
Hey, Gallon Cash, there's too much rain and we get sinkholes opening up here. I don't play no
yeah.
games with sinkholes. Yeah, that's
Right.
scary. And almost like all of the, oh, I should say almost all of the like dirt areas here are like sand.
Mm-hmm.
So, they get very weird, um, very weird whenever it's, raining so much.
Right.
They just,
Well,
you know,
things get so saturated, then there's nowhere for that water to go. And that's where you get, your trees come unrooted and or
yeah,
uprooted, and you got trees falling everywhere.
yeah,
But well, let's do a shout out to everyone. Sorry we were late this morning. Later than normal, I should say. We're usually late, but usually it's like maybe 5 or 6 minutes. But today it was a little bit later. Um, I think it's just that kind of morning. So, Grandma
yeah.
Magic Classics, you were first. Good job. Frankie's Fine, Mr. Tim from Tempe. Um, we actually had grandparents that lived in Bullhead City. So, from California, we would travel to Arizona about twice a year, probably.
It was
And
what, 6 or 7 hours?
yeah, it was about 6 hours. And so we know about a little bit about Arizona, and I always love the heat there. I like the dry heat, and yes, it gets hot there, but when it gets really hot, you just hide. You know, and that's simple as that. When it's like peak time and it's 120 outside, no, you need to stay inside. But whatever. Um,
I guess it's
Sherry,
kind of like being in the cold here. If
yeah,
it's too cold, you don't go outside.
yeah. I mean, it's just as simple as that. Um,
Yeah.
Sherry, the chill from Nest. Hope you're doing good this morning. Angela Barney. Frankie's Finds. Turtle Trader. Hank Allen Cash. I love that name. That's a cute name. Then we had Mr. Larry Lafferty's in the chat.
Wow.
Good
Morning,
morning. Good
Larry.
morning, Larry. Yeah. And Alan Andrew Milburn from the UK.
Who?
Andrew Milburn
Milburn.
from the
Oh.
yeah, it's afternoon in the UK.
Oh. Welcome. Welcome, welcome.
Hank Allen Cash says, I love that you actually say it exactly as it's meant to be said. I'm just reading it. But I like it. I think it's cute. Good morning, Mary O. So what's been going on? How was your day off yesterday?
Very uneventful and sleepy.
Yeah, I hear you.
Morning, Eric.
I didn't hear anything.
Morning.
Morning. I think.
Good morning.
Oh, stayed up too late last night. How's everybody doing?
Well,
All right.
we're a little out of sorts this morning, but that's okay. It's Tuesday.
Yeah, I'm trying to get up way too late and sleeping in way too much. My son's out of school. It's kind of enjoyable, but
Yeah.
it doesn't lend itself to proper working hours at least.
Yeah. Sleep in, stay up late, all that good stuff. I mean, yeah, you gotta do that a little bit, but and it's after you do it for a little bit, then it's hard to get back into the
Yeah,
groove of
that's what I'm
things.
trying to do this morning. Get up, get moving before 9, and almost made it. But
Yeah.
We'll call it 9. We'll call it 9. It's good. It's all good. Turtle Trader said yesterday we talked about Snakes, one of the movies that was on Snakes on a Plane. Gotcha. I don't think I've ever seen that movie. It just seemed dumb
I
to me.
haven't either.
But
that's Samuel Jackson. You're gonna have to. I haven't seen it either, but it's on my list to watch one of these days.
Yeah. Yeah, me too. But I've never actually got there before. I've heard it was good, and then I've heard other things saying it was stupid, and
Of course, it's stupid. Jesus, I mean, but
Snakes on a Plane.
that's the whole point of sometimes watching a movie. It's because it's stupid.
Yeah.
mm-hmm.
Like Dumb and Dumber. That's going to be completely stupid.
Yeah.
When you have a title
Yep.
named Dumb and Dumber, but
Mm-hmm.
they did really well. How's sales been?
Horrible. I'm not gonna say horrible. I'm still hitting my average of $90 a day, but it just doesn't. I'm not getting any decent day. I mean, I get like one good day. It's like yesterday was 140. which is it's fine, but that makes up for the day before when it was only 40. I mean, it's just
Right.
I'm not getting any steady sales. It's weird, but it is the beginning of summer and people are on vacation, and it's been nice weather throughout the entire U.S. for the last 4 or 5 days. So
Yeah.
is what it is.
Yep.
Not gonna panic, but just hoping for more. Yeah. So my listing hasn't been up where I need it to be too. But I've been doing a lot of other stuff around my house. So
Yeah.
Right.
That'll make it.
yeah, I don't blame anybody but myself, quite frankly. But yeah, I threw up 20 or so last night. I'm gonna do 25 or 30 the day I have scheduled. So
Keep on plugging along. That's all you can do.
I got 73 views and 6 watchers on those pants.
Wow.
On the Vanson leather pants.
Yeah.
okay, that's good though. What do you have them listed for?
Regularly $239. They're on sale for $227.05.
You have best offer on her?
Yep.
All right, don't worry about it.
I think
Somebody will shoot.
Well, they may not sell this first round, so you may have to bounce the price down just a little bit. Bounce it down to where when you put it on sale, it goes under $199. Get them under the $200 mark.
Mm-hmm.
Or even list them at $199 and then run a 10% off sale or something like that, and
Right.
see where it rolls out. I mean, it's when you have those unique items, it's just finding that price point that someone suddenly becomes comfortable with.
Yeah.
And it's just one of those things. I mean, once you hit that price point, they'll sell in a heartbeat. But it's just a matter of finding that exact thing. I sold the trombone last night.
Oh, cool.
Needs a little work. I paid $17 for it, and I took an offer of $120 on it. Most of the time they sell in the 170 range. But this one needs a little bit of tweaking on it, so I'm like, I don't care. I paid $17 for it.
Right.
Yeah.
It's a guy from Peru, and he's using a freight forwarder out of Florida, so it's gonna cost me less than $20 to ship it. So.
Oh, everybody's talking about your cute doggy.
You guys can see my mutt?
Yeah,
Not now, but
Oh, he just laid down. He's my pup.
He's adorable.
Yeah, he's my lover pup. He just absolutely loves to be up on me all the time. That's where you want me. Come on, right there.
I know you want another dog, Valerie, but you don't need one right now.
I know.
Well, don't you have 2 already?
I have 2. Yeah.
But she doesn't have anybody to drive her crazy.
That's right. That's right.
Well, if you want to have fun, throw a cat in the mix, and then you watch it. Then they'll all drive you crazy.
Oh, I have a cat. He just stays outside. He's smart. But yeah, I don't know. I mean, the dogs that I have, they're good dogs. They just sleep a lot. They just
They're
sleep.
dogs. Well, see, your next dog then needs to be a small, active dog, like a Jack Russell or something like that never stops.
Right.
Yeah, that's the type of dog.
And then I'd be bitching about that. So
exactly.
6 of one, half a dozen of the other.
Yep. Like if you had a Prancer, oh my God. That dog, I don't know when he sleeps. Like he goes like this for a second and then he's awake. It just, he's on and off all day. Yeah, you can borrow my Prancer.
My sister-in-law has they call those retriever dogs. It's a retriever. It's not a golden.
Mhm.
It's one of the bird dogs. I can't think of what it is, but that dog, the motor is 100% all the time, and the only thing it's focused on is throw the damn ball. It could care
Really?
less what's going on around him as long as the ball has been thrown. It's happy.
Wow.
It's insane how I mean, literally, I sat there for 3 hours one time. We were having a barbecue, and all I did was throw the ball, and the dog never stopped.
Wow.
You know, and it didn't matter how far you threw it, where you threw it, it would find it and do it. I mean, we got to the point where we were kind of making a game because they had like one of those little plastic kid houses. We were trying to launch it into the window to see if it would figure out where it was at. Got it in there a couple of times, and it went right in the door and got the ball and came right back out. It's insane how much this dog wants to get the ball.
Huh.
Yeah, I've had a few low ball offers. They're talking about it in the chat about getting low ball offers lately.
Yeah.
Yeah, which, yeah, remember you got a lot of kids that are out of college and out of high school now and everything out there as well, and they don't have as much money, so they're shopping eBay as well.
Right.
You know, low ball offer, they've opened the negotiation. Just counter back with what you want, what you take for it, and move on.
I think that's the key right there, is because I think a lot of people just try, you know, they say, oh, you know, they want $19.95 for this thing. I'll offer $5 just to see if they'll take it, you know, and then, and that's the key, is to always counter.
Yeah, you know, I always
no matter what. No matter
I
what.
may call them a son of a gun, you know, when the offer comes in, or get them the old, really, I can't even package it up for that much, let alone ship it, you know. But again, you know, not everybody knows what the hell they're doing on eBay. They don't understand the shipping costs and everything, which is, I'm fine. So when I counter, I always counter with a message, you know, thank you for the offer. You know, this will include shipping, and I counter with whatever I think I'm comfortable countering with. Now, if I want to negotiate with them, I won't give them my best price right away.
Right.
Because, you know, the problem is I don't know if it's just me or what, but I mean, every time I get an offer now, they've got varying levels of offers available. I've had as high as 9. Average seems to be about 5 left. It's just weird. It used to be 3 that you were done. Now it's whatever eBay feels like giving them. And I don't know, maybe that's something to do with their buying history or so. I don't really know. I don't know where it comes from. So, which again, I don't care as long as they're not one of these. I'll give you 5. I'll give you $5.50. I'll give you 6. I'll give you $6.50 on your $100 item. You're just like, really?
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, if you don't counter, then you lose an opportunity to talk to a customer. I mean, that's just it. I mean, it's not a big deal. I mean, again, nobody is twisting your arm to accept.
Right.
You know? And sometimes I honestly believe that sometimes when they put a $5 offer in on a $50 item, I think they mean to be $5 off, and they want to offer you $45. And so it's a little, you know, I'm not everybody, but I think there's occasionally that offer comes through like that. They didn't understand what they were doing with it.
Right.
So, you know, that's why I never get mad at people who make me an offer. I just sometimes I bang my head against the wall a few times, and you're just like, okay,
yeah.
I can't even do that. I mean, I had somebody offer me $5 on. I can't remember. It was heavy though. It was going to cost me $15 to ship it. I'm just like, you do understand that's kind of heavy. I mean, you know what you're buying, and
but it has free shipping, Eric. It's free for you and for me.
Yep.
Yeah, take it over the bed.
Yep.
I said you can't worry about stuff like that. I mean, an offer is an offer. I'd rather get it, you know, because ultimately an offer raises it up in the search engines. You know, for me, it's not that big of a deal because I have a lot of unique stuff. But, you know, when I listed a bunch of machine tools and stuff last night, and, you know, there's other sellers out there of the same stuff. So if somebody makes me an offer, you know, that's where it's at.
Yeah.
No, Tiffany, she asked me if I have my son help me with the pictures and everything. I don't really have him help me with pictures. He's not really to that point. He really could. because he loves taking photos. But it's more of a focus thing for him. He does help me though when I go to if I go to the thrift store and I take him with me. He's very good about helping me. Oh, that's neat, that's cool, that type of stuff. I mean, and yeah, the problem is I can't keep his mouth shut because he'll be like, "Oh, can we sell that and make money?" But he's very understanding of the business. He doesn't mind the clutter. He doesn't mind that we have to go out and I do a lot of auction pickups, and he just understands it's part of the business. So he's very cool with that. As long as he has my phone in the hand so we can watch YouTubes or whatever when we're on the road, he's happy. I mean, he'll sit at an auction for 4 hours, sitting in the car playing video games while I'm at an auction. He doesn't. He'd rather be in the car than inside the auction house. Which I'm not. I mean, he's almost 14. He's almost 6 feet tall. So I mean, I'm not too concerned about someone coming up and snatching him. But I check on him, like every 15 minutes or something just to make sure. But now it's too hot. I mean, I can't leave him out in the car for that long. I mean, but so I'll take him in the auction house. But he puts set of headphones on him and everything. He's cool.
Yeah, that's good.
Oh, that's a good one, Craig. That is the tough thing. That is what people have to understand. He really hit the nail on the head when you talk about offers. He says you're trying to get out of the mindset of considering offer based on value versus what I have in it. Obviously, depending on the item and how good an offer it is. And that is the truth of the matter. I don't really care what it's worth. It's what I have into it.
Right.
I had $17 into the trombone. The trombone's average sale is probably in the 160 to 180 range. Okay, that's a great deal. Now I could hold out for longer, for more if I want to. But somebody gives me a $120 offer, I have $17 into it. Even after shipping, I'm still going to 5 times my money.
Right.
I'm pretty comfortable with that. That's a pretty good offer.
Right.
Yeah.
But if I had $70 into it, I would never have accepted that. That's not enough profit. But that's why I don't buy. I buy to make 4, 5, 6, 7 times my profit value on stuff. I mean, all those machine tools I listed last night, I literally have $10 into. They were box lots, and value on them that I have listed on eBay is $380. So if someone comes along and starts making me offers, even if they're half price of what I think it's worth, I'm probably going to take some of those offers.
Right.
Yeah.
Because I want to pay for the lot. Although the auction is within $80 being paid for, and I haven't started doing the big thing, which is worth about $1,200. I got to have Jason with me on that one, but I'm learning stuff, so not a big deal there. But yeah, you have to think about what you have. I mean, Sally, you have nothing in those pants, right?
Nothing.
So if someone walks along and gives you a $110 offer, which is half of what you're asking for, you're going to seriously contemplate that.
Yeah, and it's really hard. It's really hard to say, okay, well, they've sold before for this amount, which is what was it, 178 plus 40 something shipping.
Right.
So it's like you really have to think, well, if they if they want one for 110, I'm still walking away. Even if they cost
$20 to
20.
ship.
Yeah.
You're still looking at $90 that you didn't have. You paid nothing for. That's a tough offer to turn down. Even though if you hold out, that 90 might turn into 190. You still have to kind of think about that. Somebody offers me 110 on those pants, I would probably counter it like 175 just to see where they're at, and then cringe when they don't come back and buy them from you.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's exactly what would happen too. I'd be like, damn it, I should have took it.
I had somebody offer me 100 on the trombone, and I was really close. And I'm like, if I can get just one, if I get $10 more out of him, I'd be happy. So I countered him I have it up for 170. No, I had it up for, I don't know what I had it for, like 209 or something like that, because I knew I had it on sale for like 179. So I counted him at like 160, hoping he'd come back, and he never did.
Yeah.
Like, you kick yourself a little bit going, man, I hate passing up good money when I have hardly anything into it. And then like 3 days later, I get $120 off.
Yeah.
So like, I didn't even counter that one because that kind of hit the number where I was really comfortable with it. The pace for my shipping, and I'm still pocketing, 80, $85 probably after shipping.
Yeah,
I like that.
It all comes down to you have to be happy with what you accept. If even if you if you pay money for an item, you have to be happy with with any offers that you accept, because if you're not, it's going to eat at you, for a little bit. So
yeah, I hardly ever price at the top of the market. The other Jason was talking about his pricing strategy. He says he's the kind that prices at the top of the market and looks for decent offers. And occasionally you do get a great sell at full price. I price close to the top. Sometimes I'll even overprice, but that's if it's a fairly high demand item, I'll overprice it and then put it on sale. But not by a whole lot. Like I may go $10 over so that my sale price is going to bring it right back in line. But if I see solds typically in the $100 range, I'm going to be probably at $99. But if it's sold anywhere from $50 to $80, I'm probably going to be about $74. Because even after I put it on sale, I'm going to be in the $60 range. So I'm going to be comfortably in that range. And again, it all depends on what I have into it. I got to pick it up today. I bought a bunch of stuff last night. I spent $37 and I added it up on recent solds, and it should be bring me back about $580.
Nice.
So, and I kind of low priced what I think I bought a bunch of metal desk lamps, vintage, probably 30s through the 50s. And I said, okay, if I get $30 a piece for those, I bought 4 of them, and I paid $6 a piece for them. So I paid $24. That's where most of my money went, was those lamps. And so $24, but at $30 a piece, that's a pretty cheap price. I'll probably actually get them into the $40 to $50 range.
Yeah.
And one's like a 1920s, and so that's going to be probably in the $80 range. So again, I don't know what they're worth. I don't know if they're working. I don't know how to record on them or something like that. So you kind of have to guess on what you're going to price them at. So when I do an online auction, I'm guessing what it's worth compared to what I can really see. So, hey, Robin.
Good morning, Robin.
Morning, Tara.
Hey, how's it going?
It's a wonderful day in the neighborhood.
Well, that's good. I was hoping Nikki was going to be on this morning. I was going to say goodbye to her and wish her a good trip. But
oh, that's right. She's on the road.
She's leaving tonight or something?
Yeah, I don't know exactly when she's leaving.
She said something about this morning.
Yeah, she probably left this morning. They've got about a 12-hour drive?
I think she said something like that.
Yeah, they probably left this morning.
Where's she going? The reseller rally?
Yeah. Through PA. The East Coast reseller rally.
She's going to a steam show, I guess is what they call it, where they do all the steam engine expos and
right
all that type. I guess her whole family's really involved with that type of stuff, which is it's really cool stuff. But that's a big dollar game right there.
Yes.
Yeah.
That is a lot of money, even for the smaller models. I've looked at some of those models and they go for crazy money. So if you see steam powered models out there and you can get them under $25 to $30, you can make good money on them.
Yeah.
You probably will never see one for that price, but you might see them in a garage sale or something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Somebody not know what they got or.
Yeah, that one's kind of tough to find cheap. Usually over here, even like the kits you put together, usually they sell for at least $125 to $150.
Yeah. As I said, you get lucky, and every now and then I found one or two cheap enough that I was able to buy them and really do well with them. But people who have a lot of those know the value of them, and they don't go down.
Yeah.
Right.
But you never know. Like that time I cleaned out that house, they had one of those toy outboard motors in there, like those KO ones. It was a Mercury. And I sold that, I think, for $225 or $250, somewhere around there.
Yeah, there's some good stuff out there. I mean, it's the weird stuff that brings the best money.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what, you're better off selling unique items than what everybody else is selling.
Yeah, well, there's usually less competition on something like that,
Yeah.
you know.
But there's also a longer wait usually. You know, sometimes you got to find the right buyer. But that's what you sell. You need to have a good mix of inventory where, you know, that's why I sell clothing. You know, I don't go out and buy it. But if I see it in an auction, like there's an auction coming up, and I'm contemplating. I don't like selling suits, but there's a lot of suits. There's 7 or 8, maybe as many as 10 suits in the lot. It's like at $7 right now.
Yeah.
You know, 70 cents a suit. If I sell it for $15, I'd be making money. But I don't like selling them. They're such a pain, and they take forever. My favorite thing to sell is sweaters. I love selling sweaters.
Oh,
sell all the time.
I'm up here at Power Sport Country, so I will go check it out for like snowmobile and motorcycle clothing.
Yeah.
You know, at the thrift store. But I have some clothing, not a lot, but I do have a little bit.
I do. I probably list 5 or 6 clothing items a month, but you know, sometimes I'll get on a kick, and because I'll have to change over my picture taking area to put my hanging mannequin up, and so when I do that, then it's okay, I'm going to list 30 or 40 clothing items. You know, I've got 30 sweaters to list. I haven't listed them yet, so
yeah,
those will go up probably this week. And you know, I've got everything from golf sweaters, and I got Ralph Lauren polo, and these are almost all of them are new with tags. And I got an alpaca wool sweater, which is actually probably the most valuable one of the bunch. But I mean, I only paid, I think I paid maybe $12, $14 for all of them.
Yeah.
You know, I get 50 cents a piece, so I sell one sweater, it's going to pay for the whole lot.
Yeah, I mean, like my thrift store, I think for sweaters they charge like $2, $2.50. I mean, so I don't want to be ignorant. I mean, I don't like doing clothes, but like if I see a sweater I know is worth money that I've picked up the tip from somebody else's video, well, I'm gonna pick it up. What the heck, you know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, I got these at an auction, so it was an online auction. Yeah. It was out of a very, 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 very expensive house. It was probably at least $500,000, if not a little bit more. It was basically right across the street from the memorial, where they had the memorial golf tournament every year. They just finished it up.
Oh yeah.
So it was in that neighborhood. Yeah, a lot of stuff I couldn't buy, but you know, when I know what the quality of stuff that's in the auction helps you decide on the quality of clothing that they have.
Yeah.
So when I buy at an online auction, if I see a lot of quality, high-end items that are being sold in the auction, you have a pretty good shot for the clothing is going to be better stuff. They're not shopping at Walmart.
Yeah.
But I have to make sure that Tara hears this. Bessie says, I was sitting in Steak and Shake Saturday with my family, and I hear this guy talking and say, holy shit, Jim and Tara are in here. My husband looks at me and says, who the hell is Jim and Tara?
Well, I know I haven't been in Steak and Shake, so it was not me. Maybe it was our doppelganger.
I have only I've been recognized by a couple people when I've been out.
Oh, really?
Yeah. One was at my local auction, and unfortunately, the guy was beating me out on stuff he was buying, which I'm fine with. And he came over, we started talking. He's like, yeah, you look really familiar to me. I'm like, okay, sure. He's like, do you do videos with Dusty? And I'm like, yeah, I've done a few videos with him. He's like, I thought that was you. And I'm like, yeah, okay.
If somebody recognizes me, I'm going to be like Nikki. I'm going to be like, no. I don't know what you're talking about. No.
I don't worry about it. Like I said, you know, that's fine, because I mean, it's really kind of cool if somebody recognizes you. And more importantly, I mean, the guy kind of made a contact with him, and now he's, you know, I see him every now and then at the same auction. And the cool thing about it is, you know, because I ran him up on some slides I wanted to buy. They were medium format slides, which I hardly ever see. And I'm going to spend a decent amount, but he spent a little bit more. And now he comes to me every time. He's like, you know, hey, you want to buy those slides? I'm thinking about getting rid of them. I'm like, well, yeah, not for what you paid for them. So, But I might hit him up next time I see him and see if he'll take an offer on them, because I mean it was 2 huge boxes of medium format slides, and those are the better ones. You get a lot better high quality out of them. So they were in really nice shape. So I don't know. I might hit him up on this. I kind of wanted them.
I need to get out in the woods. What, Tara?
Oh, I was just gonna say I have a bunch of slides, and I still don't have the slide scanner to scan them, so I'm sitting on them.
Slides are one of those things that they don't take up much space, so you oftentimes forget how many you actually have.
I got some. I mean, I got a bunch of like race car ones, like Daytona, and then some race track that was like up in Michigan, like in the Lower Peninsula. And then I just got another one I bought with a slide projector, like 3 boxes, and they're all like from France, you know, like she was on vacation in Europe. And
those are cool. I mean, and again, you don't pay much. Most of the time, you don't pay much for slides. Although slide values have gone up, a lot of people are starting to buy them.
Yeah.
I missed out. The best one I missed out on one, and I had no idea what was in it because it was an online auction. But it was 2 big lots, and I ran them up to 150 a piece because they were huge lots. And I got outbid on them because I'm like, I just can't spend that much work without knowing what I'm buying. And when I got there, I was talking to the auctioneer. He said, yeah, I said, between those 2 lots, there was probably between 10 and 15,000 slides. And I'm like, wow, that kind of sucks. That would have been nice to get. But yeah, I'm not going to overpay for them because those take forever to list, and they take a long time to sell. And you know, if you try to sell them individually, then it burns up listings. You have to think about stuff like that as well. So yeah, I've got tons and tons of slides to list. I've gone through almost all of them. I know what I have. I just need to actually list them. Yeah, but every one of my slides is paid for because I've sold other slides or other stuff out of those auctions, so they're not hurting anything sitting there. I did buy 2 more slide projectors today, so. But
I bought that 3 box slide projector. I think she charged me $10 for it. It's this estate sale company we have here, and she'll price her furniture real high. She's friends with me, but like that, you could get some really good deals on that kind of stuff at her thing.
that's what I love about some estate sales. They think the money's in the furniture, and they don't realize the money's in the smalls. The furnitures are great, and you get big dollars for them, but the smalls is what really make the sale.
Yeah.
You know, and I'm a last day estate sale person because I'm going in and I'm trying to buy as much as I can for as little dollars. So I'm going to go in and just bulk offer on stuff. That's where I usually get clothing. Is I'll you know, because I have a estatesales.net. I have an alert set up for any type of estate sale that has the word clothing in it. So I have been to so many of those things and walk in with $50 and walk out with everything left. And last day, because they overprice clothing in estate sales, they almost always do. And you end up getting lots of good stuff. I mean, Levi's, solar tabs, I mean, all kinds of stuff. Okay, that's fine, you know, I'll buy it all. They'll donate half of it or 3/4 of it, and I'll sell the rest, and I spend $50. Since they got Mexican yard sales in Arizona, where you get like 30 families doing a yard sale. Yeah, that's always the best when you do a what is it? Like the community yard sales where you walk in and there's 20 yard sales right down the street. Those, you know, that's where you're maximizing your travel time for best yard selling.
Yep.
Well,
I'm glad you did. I'm glad you did good yesterday, Grandma Magic Classic. She said she drove Grandpa to work. She said it's been about pretty close to 5 years since she has drove. So
that's pretty awesome.
But he's not able to drive, so she's got to take him to work and him up. So
she's facing her fears one day at a time.
That's the way you do it.
I mean, you get out there and you do a little driving. It's great if you can drive with somebody else. You know, you get comfortable. I have an old girlfriend that will not drive on the highway. Lives her life around not driving on a highway. And I live in Columbus, and you've got to pretty much drive on a highway if you want to get anywhere.
Mm-hmm.
And So she's, I mean, it's backwards. She doesn't mind riding with somebody on the highway, but she won't drive on the highway herself. She's a couple years older than I am, and she still is that way. And it's kind of, to me, that's crazy, but I get it. I mean, some people just can't do it. But if you get out there and you're comfortable again, and you know, you'd love to buy a truck to feel safer. And I do like driving a truck. I prefer driving a pickup truck than anything. Although, like I said, I have my Miata, but I just went to fire it up yesterday, and I think I've got a bad motor in it now. I'm hearing the rod knock, and that's not good. So there's another $1,000 I'm going to have to spend to fix that. So, but that might be the impediment to actually take it in the garage and tear it down and do the full restore on it. I wanted to. It's 25 years old, but I got to look into that. I got to change the oil on it, and I want to check the oil out and see if I get any metal pieces in it or not. I just broke my heart when I fired it up yesterday. I heard the noise when I was driving it a couple days ago, because I've been driving it to go to the gym, take the convertible, it's cool. And I heard a noise in it when I was driving it a couple days ago, and then last night I went out to check the oil, it was fine, looked at everything, and I'm hearing a lower engine noise, and that's just killing me because of that. But it could be a pulley or something like that. I got to do a little bit more work on it, but I'm pretty sure it's a bad rod.
Yeah.
So that means taking the engine out, either tearing the engine apart and rebuilding it, or putting a new engine into it. If I'm going to do that, I'm going to do all the work on it that they're putting off. So. But that means I got to clean out my garage now. My garage is half full of inventory, so I guess I got to work on listing it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was kind of the funny thing with me is, living in California, there's always, not a whole lot of traffic where we live, but there was cars, and there was, you had little highways and stuff like that. But you also, have the interstate, and I worked in LA, so that was about a 3.5, 4 hour drive. And so I would drive that. I worked at night, so I would drive that during the day, and then, stay over and do my shift, and then come back the next day. And but then when I got here, like I did not want to drive anywhere. I was so frantic about driving. And Mike always said, "You used to drive in LA. How can you be, go from there to this, and this doesn't even compare to that, and you're, completely freaked out." I don't know. I never made sense of it myself.
It's wide open spaces, but also, I mean, it's a little different drive. I mean, I've driven in big cities. I've driven in DC and Baltimore and Philadelphia, and the traffic sucks. People can't drive through their lives. But, you get out in California. The only thing I'll say good about Californians is they know how to drive.
Yeah.
There's no messing around in California. If you get out there and you don't know how to drive, they will let you know that you don't know how to drive.
Yep.
So, they definitely, I mean, you get with the flow of traffic, and you can really move in California and stuff like that. Out here, I mean, you kind of set your own pace, get out in the middle of the country and everything. So,
my daughter said, coming from Sacramento, where the traffic is, I thought, pretty bad, and she moved to North Carolina. She said, "This is nothing compared to She said, "I'd take a day in LA over a day in North Carolina on the highway," because she said people here just do not know how to drive. They're on their phones. They're stopping in the middle of the highway, just a dead stop. She said it is crazy here. She said you have to be so much more aware than in California.
Yeah, I mean, the worst traffic I've ever run into is in Baltimore, DC area, the Friday before a holiday. You do not want to be, because I used to drive. I lived up in West Virginia, and the Panhandle, which is only from where my office was at in Baltimore, was an hour and 10 minutes away. and I refused to live in Maryland. So I lived as close as I possibly could, well, in a decent state. I could have lived a little closer. I lived in York, Pennsylvania, but I kind of really liked where I was living at. I got a good price on a place to live. I still paid $1,200 a month for a townhouse, but it was a big townhouse. But I left my office at 3 o'clock on a Friday before Labor Day. And on a 3-day holiday, Washington, D.C. empties out. And unfortunately, you get that emptying going, because I was on 70, but that emptying comes over and hits 70 and everywhere. It took me, and a trip that normally takes an hour, 10 minutes, it took me 9 hours to get home.
Oh my gosh.
I was beyond road rage at that point. I was trying to think of any way I could possibly get off these roads, and eventually dumped out at Frederick, which is only a half an hour from my house. Dumped out of there, drove to Washington, D.C., came around, got back into the Autobahn because there was nobody in D.C. at that point because it was all gone, and then went up through Virginia and came the back way out of my house. That added like 3 hours to my trip.
Oh my god!
It was just a standstill. I mean, to drive 45 minutes take me 5 hours. Blizzard didn't take me that long. I mean, it was insane. I got caught twice in traffic like that. One was like 6 hours, and the worst was 9. I'm like, nowadays I made it that policy then. If it was a weekend before a holiday, I did not go to Baltimore.
Yeah.
I went somewhere else. You know, I could stay close. I could go to Bexley, West Virginia, and be back in 3 hours. I mean, it was crazy.
Right.
So yeah, I learned my lesson. But yeah, it's some of the bigger cities, again, they're not paying attention. That's the big thing. And yeah, I've driven in California, I've driven in LA, I've driven in San Diego. You know, I made the trip from Vegas to San Diego a couple of times. I mean, it's so much better because, I mean, yeah, you might be doing 85 miles an hour, but so is everybody else.
Right.
You know,
Exactly.
if you're not doing it, you're screwed.
Yeah. Yep. That is true.
Grew up in Baltimore on 695. Yeah, that's ugly out there. Inner Harbor actually was pretty decent. You don't have too many people, but there's some ugly stuff. Now, they did a lot to improve it, but it still sucks. I mean, I just can't stand it.
Yep.
Yeah, 70, 95, and 695. That's where you get all those running together, and they just smack into each other. And there you also have the Bay Bridge out in Baltimore, which is one of the top 7 bridges for people to freak out on because it's an ugly bridge. I mean, it's one of those ones you get on and you're thinking, okay, I'm going out in the harbor, but instead of raising or lowering the bridge, yeah, buddy. I'll be right back.
Okay. Yeah, things are kind of crazy out there on the road. My last job, I did have to drive quite a bit. I was driving like 200 to 300 miles a day, and so that was kind of crazy.
Yeah. Anyway, I was saying about the Bay Bridge in Baltimore, it's one of those ones that you're driving on the thing, and because they have big, huge container ships, it has to be tall enough for those container ships to go under. So it shoots you up a couple hundred feet in the air. And yeah, it's a bit crazy. And there's accidents on there all the time. And when I was there, somebody got hit in an accident and they got pushed off the bridge.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, so it was down lower, but it killed them because they still fell like 60 feet. I mean,
right.
Those are the weird things that are going through your mind. I'd rather take the bridge than the tunnel. Tunnels always kind of freak me out because you're underwater.
Yeah, I don't.
Yeah, and what's worse is they use that tile that's real shiny. They want light to reflect to get more light in there, but it also looks like it's wet.
Right.
So you're driving under this thing, you're like, are those walls wet or is it just shiny tile? This thing's freaking
Sorry, Darren, you mean.
It happens. It's supposed to. It's designed to do this. It's just the curtain just pops on. Okay. All right, go play.
Also, after you put on Hurricane, you did.
Yes. When I see her again, I'll get her. He went to give a hug to the cat, and the collar popped off, so she ran away from him.
Oh.
Yeah, I used to drive a lot. I used to average about 60,000 miles a year driving.
Wow.
I did that for 7 years in a row.
Crazy.
Yeah, the first one I had was actually worse because I had stores that were 12 hours away from me. So, but I had 24 stores in 7 states.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, I had the entire eastern half of the U.S. and the company was based out of Amarillo, Texas, and I was in Little Rock, Arkansas, and I had everything east and north. So I went all the way up to Missouri, then over to Ohio, Indiana, Alabama, Georgia. I mean, I had them all. Most of them were in Texas, in Tennessee and Arkansas, though.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, they're all fun. I mean, I don't mind bridges. I've never been on the Mackinac Bridge or Mackinac, whatever the hell they call it, but
I don't like it. I make Jim drive across it. And I think they have drivers there where if you're scared, you can ask for a driver to drive your car across, I think.
I don't know. I mean, it doesn't look like it's that bad to me.
It's pretty long and it gets pretty high when you're kind of in the middle of that canal between the two peninsulas. I mean, you can feel they close it down if it's windy, and you could feel the wind up there, And last time I was on it, they were doing some construction, so they had some tarps or plastic hanging from the thing, and I'm like, I don't like this at all. And when you get up to the top, it's not concrete. It's like that metal that sticks together, and to me, it's like too much, or I could see through it. Then I don't like it at all.
Yeah,
I want to be on something that looks solid, like ground.
Down in Cincinnati, they're like that. They're made out of that grating. That metal grate stuff.
Yeah, it's
like this is not good solid construction, But what's worse, I used to go to Cincinnati Reds games and I would spend the night, but I would spend the night in Kentucky because it was a little bit cheaper, and you literally could walk across the bridge to the stadium. That was kind of cool because they have a walking path, next to the car path and everything. But you're walking on that grating. But again, it's just the Ohio River, so it's not really that big of a deal. But you're up there pretty good. But I actually enjoyed walking across.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't mind driving, I guess. Just like the tunnels kind of freak me out more than anything. But I would love to drive to Key West one of these days.
Yeah. I want to go to Key West too.
That's kind of on my bucket list. I don't have to drive from Ohio down there. I can fly to Florida and then rent a car and drive there. I would certainly like to do that. And that's going to be a lot more driving over just water. I mean, that's going to be freaky, so.
That'll be interesting.
But yeah, I think one of these days I'm gonna fly down to Florida. I'm gonna rent like a Mustang convertible or something like that, and I'm just gonna drive to Key West. I don't care if I stay in Key West. I want to make the drive, maybe get dinner or something, and maybe stay a day or two and then get back out. I mean, that's
right.
Kind of the dream for me. That's more like my dream vacation.
Yep, that's one of the places I want to go. One of the many.
I don't want to.
They have these boat tours down there where you can go see. They like feed sharks and stuff like that. Not like great whites, but like nurse sharks and that. I want to go do that down there.
Me and sharks have they stay in the water and I stay out of the water.
Well, I'm not going in the water with them. I'm on a boat.
Yeah, but they can jump.
Well, these are like nurse sharks and lemon sharks.
A shark is a shark is a shark.
Girl killed by nurse shark was sucked to death. So they eat off the bottom like a carp or something. I don't know. That sounded bad.
Why are you a Twin City picker? Where it doesn't snow very often, yeah, and you get snow. Oh my gosh, people like run like the sky is falling. I used to be the same way. I'd be like, we're getting 1 inch of snow. I'd be like, oh my God, I don't think I can go to work.
We get 12 inches of snow up here, and they don't even shut the school down. I mean, it'd have to be really bad. I don't even know how bad it would be for them to shut. It's mostly temperature if they shut the school down. Like, if it gets sometimes it'll get like 30, 35 below, then they'll shut the school down so the kids don't have to wait by the road for the bus.
Yeah, that's the goal, though. I don't want any more snow. Could take her move to North Carolina and teach some of us how to drive and use turn signals. Yeah, well, I find a lot of people that run out of blinker fluid, so I think that's a big problem right there. I try to tell my daughter that. I said, well, she goes, well, something's wrong with my blinker. It doesn't flash. I said, did you check the fluid?
Yeah.
She's like, what? I said, yeah, did you check that blinker fluid? Mom. So. Yeah, I'm still tossing around the idea of where I'm gonna move. It's still up in the air, so. I was talking to one of my girlfriends and I said, I may just keep the house and stay here, just travel. She goes, well, that's probably not a bad idea. At least you have a place to go to. A place that's yours. But where did Sally go? She was here and then she left again.
Check the cat. Isn't that AKA for smoke break?
Yeah, she just left. She just went on one. I don't know. Grandma Magic Classic said she's still thinking about trying to get Grandpa to let her have a 24-foot box truck.
Oh,
I've come up with reasons for the business and for when we move down south.
We had a box truck. It was awesome. We sold it because it went 500 pounds overweight for a CDL, and Jim does not have a CDL.
Oh, gotcha.
And we didn't want to try to sneak it down there without a CDL because if you get busted, you're in bad trouble. Anyway, but I will say for going to auctions and going, like we used to do flea market and stuff, it was awesome. You can't really find a better vehicle for that.
Has anyone used a new promotional or one product on eBay? The promoted listings? Yeah, I use that all the time. I check it probably more than once a day. And add, basically whatever they bring up, I'll add that on. It's just an extra way for you to get views. And that's my thought. Blackberry Thistle Tea says, how many, Tiffany said, Tara, how many packages do you have? And Blackberry Thistle Tea says, a lot of taping going on there, Tara.
Yeah, because I'm wrapping up these stupid action figures. I don't know. Well, we packed last night. Jim's freaking out because we sold this loom that he had a crate and ship out, and he had to get it small enough because it's going to cost like $50 to ship, but like 1 inch thicker on the crate, it costs 120 or something like that. So he's freaking out over that. So I'm like, well, I'll help you ship this morning while you finish that up because we also have to finish tearing that fence down because we have that real estate property closing on Thursday. So I have to get that done by Thursday. So he gets like in freak out mode. So I'm like, well, I'll just help you with the small stuff. So I think we're down to, what we sold yesterday, we're down to like 14. But of course, now he's got like 2 crates. He's got 2 bigger things that I won't pack. He sold a big vacuum, an airway vacuum. and then this stupid big wooden rocking elephant that he's got to build a crate for. So that should have him in a mood.
Sorry about that. I lost my power. But so when you ship something freight, who do you ship that through?
We don't use freight a lot. The loom is small enough where it's going to go FedEx. I have in the past like a gas pump. I'll put something like that local pickup, but I will work with your freight company. That means the buyer has to pay for the freight, email me the bill of lading. I'll put it on. I'll help get it ready to put up on whatever truck is going. And I usually do that with that stuff. I had one this fall. I had a Surge milker thing, an antique one that was cast iron, and we sent that UPS freight to Ohio. But we don't buy a lot of freight postage ourselves.
Yeah, I mean, I got an item that's more than 70 pounds.
Yeah, and I think UPS is UPS 150. Is that what trips it for freight, or is it over 100?
I think it's anything over 70 pounds, isn't it?
No, UPS you can ship up to 100.
I'm gonna have to weigh it then.
FedEx is 70 or 75, but then UPS is 100. But I think if it goes over 100, then you have to use UPS freight.
Look at that. I mean, I don't mind shipping at UPS or UPS freight. It's just, you know, it's all cast iron. It's a press, but it's definitely more than the 70-pound limit that, you know, regular UPS and FedEx hit with. So
I'm pretty positive UPS is 100 pounds because I know we've had stuff in the past where it went too heavy for FedEx and then we had to do it UPS, but it wasn't like heavy enough for UPS freight. So
okay. I
don't know if UPS freight's 150 or 100 and a quarter. Jim's not in the house. He would know for sure, but like we've had big stuff. Like I'll give you an example. I mean, like I'll put it market as local pickup, like the Monza body I sold. But I'll put in my listing, I'll put that I'll work with, you know, U-Ship or whatever the freight company of your choice.
Yeah.
I'll charge you a pallet fee. I'll wrap it for you, but you have to send me the shipping label and the bill of lading on it. I don't want to pay for that charge through eBay.
Yeah, I mean, I haven't listed it yet. It's $1,000 item, and so I need to list it. But I mean, it's one of those things where I'm not gonna list it unless I know I can ship it, you know, decently. I mean, I could always do local pickup on it than just, you know, either meat or.
Well, and you're in a much better area than me for local pickup because I'm way up here at the top where you're down in the middle of Ohio.
Yeah.
Where if somebody wants it, like Kentucky, West Virginia, PA, they're gonna drive to you to get it.
Yeah, I mean, I told people I'll help. You know, I sold a Rhodes piano, which is a full size band piano. You know, for like, you know, the rock band.
Yeah.
And I had the guy from Indianapolis, you know, buy it. Paid $600 for it, and I drove to Dayton to meet him. So, you know, halfway because I have family in Dayton, so it's no big deal for me to do that. So we made a trip.
I'll tell you something else Jim does is like something that's heavy like that. I'll deliver it for $1.50 a loaded mile because that's about the going rate for delivery. So he'll put that in there like we've had that on some boats and stuff like that where we put $1.50 a loaded mile on it.
And if it's like
how heavy is UPS freight? I know you can ship UPS up to 100, or is it? I don't. We haven't done it. You would know.
Yeah, no, it's 100. It's either 100 or 125.
Yeah.
Or is it 150?
I think it's 100 and a half for some reason because I know FedEx is 70, but then if you go over, that's when you use
Yeah. UPS is definitely over 100.
Okay, well, I'll have to look into that. I mean, I've got a UPS account, so it's no big deal.
Now that I think about it, I'm pretty sure it's 150 on UPS. Sometimes people ship Greyhound, but we live in. We're so podunk here. Our closest Greyhound depot is 100 miles away. So that's why I tell them it's going to be $150 for me to drive that thing to the Greyhound terminal.
I'll be right back. I gotta weigh this. I'll be right back.
I'll be right back.
Yeah. Nikki says, Eric, FedEx at the office, you can ship up to 120. pounds. So I'm glad you're in Pennsylvania then. Close to family, that's good.
Sorry about that.
That's okay.
Anybody see my graceful exit there?
You're
No.
what?
Whew, good. I tripped over something. I just, boom.
Oh no. Are you okay?
Yeah, I'm fine. It was just like, oh God, I hope I didn't catch that on camera.
No, at least we missed it.
But yeah, that's. I mean, actually, it's a cast iron book press. It's actually not. It's for imprinting plates. I don't have the heaviest piece. The heaviest piece is like 150 pounds, but that's the one piece I'm missing. But that piece is replaceable because they do wear out. But the press itself is probably in that 75 to 110 pound range. I'm not really sure. I can pick it up and carry it. And I carried it about 50 feet before I was like, okay, I can't carry it anymore.
Yeah.
So, yeah, again, like I said, I'm going to list it, but I want to make sure I can actually ship it before I list it. I can take the handles off.
Well, what do you say? When you crate something, what does that add to the weight? Is it 40 pounds?
Well, it depends on how big the crate is, but typically at least 20 pounds.
Yeah. Because like something like that, you probably have to build a wood box for it because it probably busts through cardboard, hey?
Yeah, it's got to. I'm going to have to. I was actually thinking about taking a pallet and then cutting the pallet down or get one of those quarter pallets because it would probably fit on a quarter pallet and actually bolting it to that and then covering it. But that's also something I might take in and just say, can you pack this for me? I mean, even if it costs me $50 for unpacking it. So.
Yeah, you'll be into it. I mean, when I crate one, some of those crates take me 2 hours. So, I mean, it's worth. I mean, if you could,
it's not worth my time to do that. So.
Yeah. And I mean, I'm all set up for it. I mean, so if you're like trying to set it up and get your head around it and stuff like that, I mean, you could be looking at 3-4 hours.
Yeah. Hang on for a second. Go back and fix this.
Ooh, you're fancy. You're thrifty with the fragile.
I know. Well, I got some of those free ones, but I can't find them. Those ones that come with the sticky labels. I'll be danged if I can find them. So I gotta rip off the post office, I guess. Sorry, post office. You're taking it off
the post office has to raise their rates.
Yeah, post office raise their rates because of me. It's because of jerks like me. All right, I'm gonna go label that monster. Oh boy, that was a big one.
Hey, watch that person with that paddleboat. They should be here any minute.
All right, no, Frankie, where you going, buddy? Come on. Or you want one thing? Okay.
Nikki. Be safe on your trip, Nikki.
Nope.
Eric and Dusty would be one to talk about that with Dawn.
I'm back.
Hi, everybody. Welcome back, Kata.
Welcome back, Kata.
Oh, good job.
I love that show.
That's an oldie.
It is an oldie. I guess that means I'm an oldie. But a goodie.
Yeah.
Good morning, Megan.
Sorry about that.
Hope you're doing okay. Nikki,
Hi, Megan.
What time did you guys leave this morning from your trip?
We're going to Cool Springs, PA.
I didn't know about that.
It's done.
Did it?
Yep, we did it.
Success.
Dawn asked about vintage photography. What's your question, Dawn? You trying to sell your vintage porn collection?
Oh boy, well, there's money in that, I think.
Oh hell yeah!
Yeah.
Yeah, just get a guy to part with it.
I think Dutch I think Dutch Wonderland is still around in PA, if I remember correctly. It was a few years ago.
A friend of mine went there this summer.
Yeah. I drove past it a couple times.
I want to go to it. It's like a theme park that's Amish themed or Dutch, Pennsylvania Dutch themed, so they all dress up like that or whatever, but there's roller coasters and stuff. Tango.
Sure, will tell us.
Oh, it should have changed topics quick. Which is probably good.
Apparently, I woke up grumpy this morning, and I should have let him sleep in.
Well, Eric knows a little bit about photography. Vintage.
So what is a blue mirror?
A blue.
I have a blue mirror. Is it like a mirror you look in? I mean, I'm not sure what you're talking about. Terry says Dutch Wonderland is for little kids, so she stays far away. She loves little kids so much. Okay, yeah, send me a picture, Don.
Were you looking to see if I was really drinking liquor?
Yes.
It should.
So it's a picture of a blue mirror? Is that what she's saying?
I don't know. I'm not sure what she's talking about.
What do you want me to pack?
I don't know where I'm at.
Okay, I'll check it out.
You can do that game for sure. That orbit launch.
All right.
And you can do that thermometer over there.
Are you eating ice cream?
We cracked off a couple.
You need to drumstick or something like that.
You caught me.
Busted.
I'm gonna tell you to start working that thing, but Oh.
So what's everybody got going on today?
I gotta finish ripping out fence.
That's right.
I got a little bit of shipping. I'm gonna get an auction pickup.
That's always fun.
What else? I guess I gotta do some photography, so. Alright, here's the photo.
I'm bringing that foam to it.
We do have a challenge, Eric.
Different.
We do have a challenge for this week.
We do have a challenge for this week?
Yep.
What is it?
20 a day, or 10 a day if you're part-time.
I did 20 yesterday, so I'm good for you. Okay. Alright. Well, what I kind of changed up my whole
By
deal,
6
and I.
the cardboard pouch that it can go first class.
That's weird, Don. Are you sure there's not a plastic coating over top of that mirror? I can't imagine why someone would have a blue tinted mirror. I said a lot of times with glass, there's a blue plastic over top of them. It's really hard to peel off if you don't realize it's there. I didn't lift 20 bird slides yesterday, Greg. That's not. I listened to all those tools back there. But slides do count, you know. Now I've got. I'm not sure what I'm going to list. I got a lathe I got to take apart. I got more CB equipment to list. I've been selling that like crazy. Sold another microphone yesterday for $24 by itself.
Sally must have a cramp in her finger.
I know, she must have, considering she just wouldn't take some advice and try to put money into her pocket. I've been doing real well with CB stuff though. Yeah, I don't. If it doesn't have, if that's not a coating, then I'm not real sure. I've never seen a blue mirror, the blue tint like that. Here.
I've got some listing to do, and I gotta get my inventory straightened out. I'm just about out of all my clothes. I think I have one more tote of clothes, and that'll be that. So I gotta figure out what else I'm gonna get started on. All of my inventory is getting pretty scarce. out there in the garage. So,
well, that's a good thing. I mean, you've really been selling a lot.
yeah.
So if you think back to where you first started listing all that inventory, you had like 20 some totes out there.
Right, right. And you know, that's another thing that I have done. I've went through a lot of that stuff and kind of weeded through it because there's not a lot of, you know, there was good stuff in there, but then there was also like, what were you thinking type of stuff.
Sure.
And
I mean, if you look back to when you first started listing, and you're like, why would I list an $8 T-shirt? I don't even understand why I even bought the thing in the first place. But you know, when you start out, you make those type of buys. You never think about, because you don't know enough not to buy stuff. You heard it, you saw it, you think it's cool, whatever, but you bought it because it was cheap enough, and you're like, wow, that was really a dumb buy.
Right.
Yeah, I got these 2 wax candle bears that weigh a ton because they're like this tall. They're candles. I can't give those things away, and I'm about ready to delist them and light them on fire and melt them down. You know, I mean, I don't know what the hell else I'm going to do with them, but I can't sell them. I mean, nobody wants to buy them.
Yeah.
You know, now it's summertime. If I actually get one and ship it somewhere, it'll probably melt in the way. So, but yeah, I mean, everybody's got those buys, and you have those buys that are pain in the ass to list, that are worth good money, like my press, or I've got these antique beaded curtains that you would hang, like the hippies would use in the doorways. So I got 2 sets of those. They're such a pain in the ass to try to get set up so you can actually take pictures of them.
Right.
That I haven't listed them yet, and they're worth really good money. They're worth between $100 and $150 a piece, but it's such a pain to try to figure out how I'm going to take pictures. Every time I take pictures, it looks like ass, and I'm like, I just can't put those pictures up. So, but you have vibes like that. I mean, it's just working through those little things. I have other stuff to list, so it's no big deal. But
yeah,
I have really cool stuff that I just don't have up. But yeah, I got a lot of. You know, I went through my entire inventory, so I don't have a lot of crap that's not worthless.
right.
But I was amazed at how much stuff that I called out. I called out about 10 bags of clothing. It was like, it's still good stuff. It's still worthwhile, but it just wasn't worthwhile for me to list.
Right. Yeah. So I'm trying to weed through a lot of that. And so that's how I really got through a lot of those totes. But I've got a lot of shoes to list, and purses, and I've got some miscellaneous stuff, and so.
Yeah, you just gotta well, you need to get out there and start buying again.
Yeah. Yeah, I think so too. I think so too.
Yeah. Yeah, I looked at that mirror. I tried to research some more. Apparently, you can buy tinted mirror glass. Blue mirror glass is great in Europe, I guess, is what they use a lot in their cars and things like that. So it might be a European mirror. It's going to be, if it's truly tinted blue, it's going to be a pricey thing. You're going to have to sell it locally. I wouldn't want to ship that anywhere, but you'll find a buyer for it. It's a cool piece. I kind of like it, actually. It's too far away for me to get it from you, Don. But yeah, you need to get out, maybe make a trip to the bins. And
that's you know, I haven't been there by myself. It's in Kansas City, and that kind of freaks me out. But I'm just gonna have to.
Well, you're gonna have to go someplace that has thrift stores first off, because you live in such a podunk little town.
Right, and there's thrift stores around here, but I think it would be good to venture out. You know, and if I feel comfortable, the thing is it takes me one time to go to Kansas City and to know where I'm going.
Yeah.
And if I can get there and feel confident, you know, not have any problems, then I'm good. And I could probably do that once a week, you know, or something, you know, twice a month or something like that.
Yeah. Yeah, but again, the bin picking is only good for so long. I mean, it's a hit, just like any other thrift store, it's a hit and miss.
Right.
Really, where you're at, I would expect that auctions are probably pretty good. You probably have a lot of farm auctions. That's where I would be going and spending my money. Is I would be going to the auction houses. Don't buy the farm stuff, because that's what your people around you, they're buying their own farm stuff. But Find that stuff that they don't want to buy or not worth it. You're going to end up with a lot of weird stuff, but that's where the money's going to be at. You know, set yourself a budget and say, I'm going to spend $100. Get there early, stay late, buy lots, do the Nikki program where you buy bulk lots, but then bring it home to your house, go through everything and look up everything. And if it's not worth $15 or up, it goes into the donate pile. You know, and then, you know, because you get there early, you get a chance to pre-research stuff. But, you know, if you're buying lots, you don't really have to do a whole lot of research. If you look and see one item that's worth what you're paying for the whole lot, then you're good to go.
Right.
You end up with a lot. But again, if you do a good cull when you get home, you can really save that from building into a big pile. You know, if you spend $100 in an auction and you walk out with $400 or $500, and now you got a little different item in your store, it definitely, I think that helps. I think having a good mix helps.
Right. Yeah, I agree. And that is something that I want to change it up a little bit, I don't want to get completely out of the clothing because I like clothing, but I want to venture out to something that, I've not dealt with before.
To
something
me, clothing,
that I try to stay away from.
Clothing is like my bread and butter. It's so easy to list. Because really, clothing is easy. Once you get used to it, everybody says clothing is a pain in the ass. Well, it is a pain in the ass, but once you get used to doing it, it's not a big deal. Because you build process, just like anything else. You build a process. When I list clothing, I take all my clothing photos first, and then I literally have a pile of clothing right next to me. And as I'm listing it, I do my measurements on my desk right in front of me. Just bang, bang. I do 2 measurements. That's all I'm doing. Unless it's a long sleeve, then I'm doing a sleeve measurement. But I'm doing chest and length. Yeah, so it takes no time really to do those.
No.
And the good thing about most clothing listings is somebody else is selling the same thing.
Right.
So you could find a sell similar really simple. Whereas if you grab the hell? Why is this out here? Oh, my daughter was keeping that. Oh, one of those lane chests. I'm like trying to figure out why it's sitting on my table. If you grab a unique item, like I don't know, my airport light controller thing, you got to build that listing yourself. Nobody's got the same thing.
Right.
So, which takes a little bit longer, but not a big deal. But yeah, I mean, I like clothing. Like I said, it's bread and butter money.
Right.
It doesn't bring as much as some of the other stuff, but it brings in decent money.
Yep.
I've got like 4. It's a kind of a different brand of Argyle sweater vests. They're all new with tags, but they typically sell in the $15 range. But I'm going to lot them all together.
Right.
Because I'm going to ask like $40 for 4 of them. So you're getting them at $10 a piece. They're all different varieties and they're all new with tags.
Right. Exactly.
One shipping. So now I'm down to instead of 4 first class shippings, I'm going to do 1 priority mail shipping because they're small enough to fit into a A or a B box probably. But yeah. You have to change it up. But like I said, if you're running low on inventory, I mean, because you have that anchor store, you got to feed that beast.
Mm-hmm.
That's the bad thing about having an anchor store. You have to kind of make it worthwhile to have it. That's one of the reasons why I've never jumped up to an anchor, because I keep my listings between 500 and 600. I'm just, and that's some of that psychosomatic. I know I have enough inventory to list to get my store to easily to 3,000 if I wanted to.
Right.
But it's also making that commitment for a year at $300 a year.
Right.
That's I'm not quite ready. I'm just psychologically, I'm not ready for it.
Yeah.
Right now I pay about $140 a month for my listings. By the time because I relist every 10 days, so I sell 130, 140 items a month. So I'm actually running right around 650 listings 3 times a month. So I mean that's like 1,800.
Right.
1,900. So I'm running an extra $90 in listing fees.
Yeah. But that's the truth. Yeah. I mean, when you have the anchor store, you've got to You got to feed it. You got to, make it worth.
Yeah, you really have to have at least
worth having. But
you got your 1,000 listings. If you relist those 3 times a month, and you sell 250 listings, that's about the break-even point right there. So, once you cross over, we were doing when Dusty was thinking about making his anchor store, we were doing the math on it. Once he hit about 1,100 listings on average, because Dusty was selling 300 and 400 items a month,
right.
it just made more sense to go to the anchor store.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I thought about doing another store, and the only way I will do another store is if I decide to do a YouTube channel or a video channel, kind of like 10K on the Bay, where I'm going to do another store and I'm going to teach people how to build their store up and how to do it right. And I just haven't, I got to think about if I want to make that commitment to go ahead and start doing that.
Right.
Doing my own videos and things like that. I'm not really into that. I'm not reliable enough for that, but I've thought about it. That's the only way I'd start another store. Otherwise, I'll just go up to the next store level.
Right.
But yeah, I would check out Auction Zip in your area and see what you got.
Yeah. Yeah, it's definitely something I want to look into, and and to me it's kind of, I think it's kind of scary, because I've been to auctions before and I've bought at auctions before, but I haven't. It used to be a me and Mike thing, and he would help me a lot and stuff. And so now to be the Lone Ranger, it's kind of it's just different.
It is tough. I mean, I used to go all the time with my wife. I mean, that's how we dated. When we're married and I'm on the road all the time. We'd get home, and that would be our alone time. I'd have one of my other kids watch Luke, and then we would go out and we're working, we're making money, but we're also enjoying the time we spend together. And we had a lot of friends on the auction circuit. And when you're living in a small but fairly populous town for auctions and stuff, where you could go to an auction every night, you see the same people over and over.
Right.
And it's funny because those people are also selling at auctions. So you got anything up for today? Are you buying or selling? And a little bit of both. I mean, that's kind of how it worked.
Mm-hmm.
And I was buying when I was on the road, so I bring it back to the local auctions and flip in there. I wasn't doing as much eBay because I was going after the quick cash. I mean, eBay, I could have been listing it all, but I was on the road all the time, so I didn't want to have to deal with leaving my wife to do the shipping. She wasn't very good at the shipping part. Great at buying. She had a great eye, but just not very much on the shipping part. So we just would flip it to live auction.
Yeah.
But you see the same people, so you can make friends, you get comfortable. So it's one of those. Oh, you just gotta go, and again, hang out, buy a couple things, and you get more comfortable the more you go.
Yeah.
Part of the problem is the situation I was in, and you're in is, it's so much easier to sit at home.
Yeah.
It is. It's just not the same.
Yeah.
So it's a little different when you're alone, when you're used to being with somebody, and then you do the same things you used to do, and it's a little painful.
Yeah.
I'm not I love auctions. That's why I like my online auctions, is I can sit at home and do them.
Right.
Going to a live auction is difficult, but I do it every now and then. I don't do it as much because I got Luke to watch, and then it's just one of those. Do I do it or not? I don't know.
Yeah.
It's just painful.
Yeah.
Yeah, the beads aren't anywhere near me right now. They're in a tote that's kind of buried, but they're all doorway size. I mean, some that have been, because like I said, these are Victorian era. So these are like the paper beads. Some of them are like that long, some are that long. So there's wood beads and paper beads and different things. And some of them have broken, so they're not all 100%. But I've got 2 sets, and there's probably 20 or to 30 hanging pieces in each set. And they hang up on they have little hooks you hang on with, or little circles. I can't really remember right now, but they're really cool. Like I said, they're fairly valuable. They're over $100 a set. I just got to figure out a way to get good pictures of them.
Yeah.
And I can do it. I mean, I don't have to even get good pictures. I just put them up and use crappy pictures, but I want to get better money for them. But But yeah, just gotta get out there. I mean, like I said, but once you work through most of that inventory, you can really start to expand and get out there and hit your thrift stores.
Right.
And it's garage sale season at least. I mean, although in a small town you don't have great pickings at garage sale because there's just not that many houses. I mean, there's only so many garage sales
Right.
you can go
But
to.
I mean, I can travel. I can go, 20 miles, any direction and find a town,
Yeah.
that has yard sales, and that's not a big deal. Anywhere you go around here, you're going to have to drive.
Yeah. So I don't like yard sales for that reason because it's so hit and miss. I just think I always feel like I'm wasting my time. I just to get in and drive to the next yard sale, get in and drive to the next yard sale, and you go to 20 yard sales and you buy 10 things. That's a lot of time investment. And I don't mind shopping, but I'm a talker. So I get up there and I start yapping to these people. And next thing you know, I've sitting there and spent 10 minutes talking to people about their baby clothes they're selling. So yeah, it's just not my.
Yeah. It's just that's basically what it's gonna take, is just me going and getting started. That's the hardest thing, is just getting started. Once I feel comfortable, I'll be fine. So.
Yeah, I'm actually been looking more into the storage auctions, the storage, what do you call them?
Storage units.
Yeah, storage unit auctions. I've been looking a lot at those. Mine around me kind of suck.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not seeing really anything worthwhile. I mean, I see some full units and they go for, I can probably pick up a unit for about $200. That's pretty full, but I know when I look at the unit, I can tell that probably half of it is garbage.
Right.
And I don't want to handle that much volume. So I look at the smaller units. Some I can get in the back of my truck, 5x5s and things like that, but they're usually just not very good.
Right.
Unlike Jason, who gets just these absolutely amazing units. Of course, they all get redeemed, but he still gets these gorgeous. I mean, he's been looking at a few that are coming up next week. I think it is, that literally are just, they're life altering. How much money you can make out of that stuff. But again, they're also expensive. I mean, so I have a very small budget for storage auctions. I won't spend more than $200 on an auction on a unit. Unless it was really, really good, then I'd have to really think about it. I don't like to have that much money tied up in inventory.
Right.
Especially unknown inventory.
Right.
I think the biggest deal is because when I buy, I make sure that I sell enough out of the thing to pay for what I just bought. And so I'm never really upside down on my inventory.
Right.
Like I said, I could take everything I own aside from one or two things and throw them away, and I'd be perfectly fine. Wouldn't bother me in the least, because I've already, not only have I made money on those auctions, they're already paid for.
Right.
So aside from the time that it took to go grab all that crap and load it up and bring it home, I mean, that's the only thing I would be out is my time. So if somebody called me up tomorrow and said, hey, you won the lottery, you don't have to sell on eBay anymore, which I probably still would just because I'm sick like that, but you got to move tomorrow or something like that, no big deal. It wouldn't bother me. Although winning the lottery would be awesome for eBay selling. Sorry, went into my happy place. But yeah, I mean, that's,
so
you can think about what you can make a big buy. Maybe look, maybe you can get some estate sales or something like that where you can buy all the clothing or get to the bins and literally spend $200 at the bins and fill your truck with clothes.
Right.
So that you made one trip and you got enough to list for the next month.
Right.
That's where I would probably do. I would probably want to make one trip out and get enough so that I don't have to make a trip again for 2 or 3 weeks.
Right. Just spend the whole day there. And
do you have you don't have a cap on your truck, do you?
No.
So I would either take plastic bags with me, or I would take maybe 10 empty bins with lids.
Mm-hmm.
and then that way you can put them in the back of the truck and just load them up, and you could probably make 5 or 6 trips out of the bins, and then fill up your cab, and then when you're ready to leave, you put them all in the bed at that point. Either that or think about trying to find a cheap cap somewhere you can put on there.
That's true.
If you get a cheap cap.
I do have a toolbox, so I could put stuff in there too.
Yeah. Tonneau cover, something like it you could cover, so nobody's going to mess with it either. So I've got a hard tonneau cover on mine. It's a locking tonneau cover, so I can actually. I can't put big tall stuff in it unless I take the cover off, which I have it off right now because I brought home a dryer. But otherwise, I put it down, I can lock it, and nobody can get in the back of the truck. But it's also not a cap. It's not a big wieldy cap, which I wouldn't mind a cap, but the tonneau cover is kind of cool.
Yeah.
If someone came up with the right offer, I'd sell my tonneau cover to buy a cap. But
yeah.
I don't really need it right now.
Yeah, I mean that's definitely something that I would, try and do, is just try to buy up as much, spend most of the day there and just, load up and, like you said, buy enough stuff where you can. It's going to keep me busy for a while, so.
Yeah, I mean, you're making one trip.
And that's the thing too that I do like about the bins is that, you not only can you buy just clothes. I mean, you can find
there's other stuff there too.
Other stuff, hard goods and stuff like that you can pick up too. So
yeah, I mean, really, I found that most of the time I've been to the bins once, and people miss stuff so much.
Oh, yeah.
That big lineup where everybody's just ripping through stuff. I don't know what they're digging for. They don't take their time. It's like a power grab, and they destroy more than they actually find.
Right.
Unfortunately.
Right.
And I have found that if I let those people have at it, they can take the good stuff. I don't care, because I know that I'll find really good stuff that they missed.
Right.
And so I'll take my time because I'm looking at individual items instead of just, gotta get it all. I mean, it's an insane process, and people just I don't understand that mindset. Grab it, then look it up later.
Yeah. I would just, and that has been me completely. When they bring out the new bins, I let people, they swarm over it and they do their thing, and then I'll hit it after they, after it's calmed down a little bit.
I'm not going to get into a fist fight with somebody over something I'm going to resell. I mean, that's just silly.
No.
And I am surprised that Goodwill still does it that way. I mean, because it's almost encouraging conflict the way, because they have them sheet covered, they bring them out, and then they rip the sheets off and they run away. I mean, it's kind of strange.
Yeah.
It's like chum into a shark infested water.
Yeah, exactly. But
Craig says run a trailer.
Oh yeah.
Get one of those covered trailers you can lock. That would actually be a better idea.
Right. I was trying to find, because I was even thinking about, something like a cargo net, that I could use, but I don't know if that's gonna, if I'm driving, I don't know if that's gonna completely.
Yeah, if you had, if you put, like, if you got a bunch of clothes, let's just say you bought clothing.
Right.
And you decided to put it all in bags.
Mm-hmm.
Just big thing of trash bags. You load up with the clothing. You could put them back there, and then a cargo net over the top would keep them from bouncing out. That's all you got to worry about.
Right.
But I'm more concerned about the theft aspect of somebody coming along and you working all day and your truck's loaded, and then you go out there and somebody decided that they wanted all your stuff. I mean, that's where I go of stuff. The cargo net's not going to stop that. So you need a cap or a tonneau cover or something where they'd actually have to, that physical barrier that they have to violate is a whole lot easier, because people walk along and yank stuff out of people's trucks all the time.
Right.
Is your truck extended cab?
No.
Okay, so it's even tighter. I have an extended cab, so I've got a back seat to mine.
Right.
Actually, absolutely full of toner right now. I bought a bunch of toner yesterday. And a urinal.
Oh, just in case.
Well, it's a Navy surplus. It was actually designed to go onto a ship, so it's a special lightweight urinal. And it's not. I don't know what it's made out of. I haven't actually brought it out, but it's about this big. So it's a larger. It's not as big as a full size urinal, so it's a little smaller size. So it's probably about that big, but it's lightweight because they're saving weight on ships and stuff. But I have all the paperwork for where it was supposed to be installed on a ship, and it got to surplus instead. I don't know if it's worth it. I paid $30 for it. I think I can get. I thought it was a lot smaller. I was thinking it was going to be about this big.
Right.
You know, for especially like a small ship, and it was actually bigger than I thought. Which was a little disappointing because I think a really small one I could sell easily.
Oh yeah.
But you'd be surprised the amount of people that buy urinals just to put in their shops and in their garages. Because you can run that right out to you don't have to run plumbing for a urinal. You can actually discharge that into your yard as a gray water system. It's not
really?
illegal. Yeah, it's not illegal. It's a gray water. You don't want to. Most people have it going out to like a rock bed and with trees or something. Like you don't want it to go into a garden, but as a gray water system, you know, you're fine with doing stuff like that. It's, you know, peeing outside is no big deal.
Right.
But that's all you're doing is you're right. And so people, when they install a urinal, a lot of times they won't even have a flush system with it. They just have the receptacle and they'll just dump some water down after they're done. They have it just run through a piping out into their yard. So a lot of shops are set up like that.
Huh. Kind of interesting.
Yeah, so you know, you can't have a toilet, but you can have a urinal. So I thought about that. You know, so I know there's buyers out there for that. It comes in, it's double boxed already, so I'm not even gonna have to worry about finding shipping for it. It's just a matter of getting it out, listing it, and then selling it.
Right.
I figured I was gonna get $125 for it. You know, I probably paid too much. If it was smaller, I'd get more money. I was thinking because it retails for $350.
Mm-hmm.
But that's also Navy prices, so it's probably really on about $250, and got the padding in there for the Navy.
Right.
Yeah, you can rent a trailer from U-Haul. If you go with a closed trailer, they're a little bit more expensive, but they're about $35 a day.
Yeah.
So for a day trip, that's not a bad price if you're comfortable driving with a trailer.
Wow, that's amazing. I rented one coming home from an auction. They charged me $150.
Woo.
U-Haul?
Yeah, U-Haul.
Did you rent for the day or did you rent for?
I went to an auction, bought more than I could haul home, and rent to the U-Haul. So I had it overnight, and it cost me $150.
Wow.
Well, I've rented because that last big auction I've actually rented for a couple different auctions where I'm going to pick up, and each time I've been now I haven't gotten the closed trailers because I don't want a closed trailer. I want to do a giant pickup with a lot of shelving and stuff like that, but. It was the closed trailers are like $29 a day. That's like a 5x10.
Yeah, what was that one about 5x10? I would say it was an enclosed 5x10. Yeah, I went to an auction, but borrowed my trailer to somebody. Didn't have the trailer with. Jim's freaking out. So I go, just go to U-Haul. He's like, oh yeah, like they're gonna be open on Saturday. I'm like, we're in the city, of course they will be. So he goes, we rent the trailer for $150. And drove it back home about 120 miles, unloaded it, and then took it in the morning, and that was $150.
Yep. For me, let's see.
It was a bad auction because there was a lot of digging. I mean, they were just doing it right in front of people. You had to literally have somebody standing by your pile. They were just walking by and grabbing stuff off other people's piles. I didn't never see nothing like it. That blatant. So there was no way we could. I was just white. I mean, I was so freaked out because I'm like, oh my gosh, if we leave this stuff, we come back and 80% is gonna be gone. They're just gonna rifle through it and we're gonna lose it all. So, or one of us will have to sit on the pile while the other one drives an hour and a half back home. Yeah, it's 90 miles. So that she came up with the idea with the U-Haul, and it was brilliant because it worked out great. We loaded up the U-Haul trailer and got all our stuff out that night. So I had no problem paying the bill either.
Yeah, no, that's yeah. For me to rent a 4x8 cargo trailer, which which is the enclosed trailers, it's like less than $20. Now that's not including all the things they add onto it, which it kicks up to like $35.
Oh, that's true. And I also dropped it off at our local U-Haul depot, so I didn't take it to the same depot.
That was the difference right there. You technically rented a one-way haul.
Yeah.
So if you like, I can get a 6x12, which I think is the largest enclosed that they have, for $30 a day. By the time you add everything up, it's going to end up being about $50 by the time you put the insurance on it and all that stuff. So $50 for one day, and you get a 6x12. You can put a crap ton of stuff in a 6x12 trailer.
Yeah.
That's one of those days where if you're going to use that, you go to the bins, because you can put a lock on the back of it. You go to the bins, you park, and you're there all day long. You're going to be there for 10 hours because you're going to be constantly taking stuff out. You're going to make 10 purchases, and you're going to go out and just keep throwing it in there until it's as full as you can get. And that's going to give you 3 months worth of stuff.
Right.
And then you bring it home and you drop it off the next day at the same time you picked it up. So that's an option for people who, now I have a truck, so I can pull that. If you don't have a truck, you're going to be limited on what you can pull and whether or not you have a trailer hitch and all that. But an SUV could pull that pretty easily. A minivan could pull that. They're not heavy. The hardest part about trailers is backing up with them.
Right.
So you got two options. You can never back up, which you can do that with a trailer. You can always think about where you're going and how you're parking and everything. Never back up.
Right.
Or just practice with it. And everybody sees people driving with trailers that don't know how to drive with a trailer. This is the guy doing this type of weird thing. You'll get it eventually. Believe me, I suck when I back up with a U-Haul trailer. With a boat, I got no problem because it's longer and it actually, and the wheels are further back on a boat, and it seems to turn a lot easier.
Right. Yeah, that is definitely an idea. Make it worth my time and my money, to load up.
Yeah, because and if you went the smaller route, I mean, it'd be a $20 haul, no big deal. And so if you're talking about something like that, where, it's probably $35 all in, a 4x8, you can get a lot of clothes in a 4x8.
Yeah.
And you wouldn't have to spend near as much day. And then again, you fill the trailer up, and then the last buy guy is going to go into the back of your bed with your cargo net. With the cargo nets, or you go to Harbor Freight and get a cargo net for like $12 or something. So
right. Yeah, so, definitely something to think about.
There's always options, and that's one of the things that, like, when I buy an online auction, I always have that in the back of my head that if I buy too much, I can take the cap off I'm gonna take my tonneau cover off my bed, so I get more into it, or I can just rent a trailer.
Right.
And yes, it adds to the cost of your goods, so you just kind of roll all into your cost of goods, and you just kind of move on with it from that point.
Right.
So don't think you can't buy in bulk. I mean, now if you have a Prius, probably not hauling a trailer with a Prius, but
yeah,
you got other problems if you're driving a Prius.
Prius is not a good auction vehicle.
No. I mean, if you buy at auction, you want something you don't want your brand new car at auction, and you probably want something that's got a little bit of hauling capacity. I have bought at auction in my Miata, and it was a joke driving home because that thing was packed full. I had to keep the top up to keep shit from flying out of the thing. So
I saw somebody with a smart car at an auction, and they couldn't get it all in. I'm like, oh my God, why would you bring that to an auction?
Yeah. You know what's not smart? Taking a smart car to an auction.
Yeah. Because the problem with auctions is, when I look at an auction, I look at the pictures. They don't do good pictures. Most auctioneers don't. So you find one or two things like, yeah, I want to go buy those. I know I can make really good money. And it's all the crap that you didn't know was going to be there that you end up buying, and you probably never get the thing you really wanted to go for because it was too much money.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, but you end up with a carload of stuff that you had no intention of buying and didn't make plans for, and then boom, suddenly you're full.
Yep.
I went to that one auction, and they were doing dolls, and I had to buy a pickup truck full of dolls because they were so freaking cheap. And I had the truck; I could bring them home. If I had my car, I wouldn't have bought any of them. But you know, sold one doll and the whole auction's paid for. And I'm like, okay. So I had all these dolls laying around. They're close to going up though.
Well, I think we're going to wrap it up for the day. I'm going to get some stuff done and get some listings up. And
Yep.
work on my inventory. Hope everybody has a great day, and we will see you tomorrow.
Peace.
Bye.